Thank you for visiting the Miltenberger Law Offices YouTube channel and our website. We are a proven criminal defense law firm in Nebraska with over 1,000 cases handled and over 12 years of combined legal experience. Our firm has created these audio articles to help educate you on your rights, protect your freedom, and help you achieve the best solution for the charges you are facing. If we are hired for your case, we will never back down, no matter the odds. Probation Violations Lawyer in Omaha, Nebraska. You thought the hardest part was over. You accepted a plea agreement in Omaha. You completed your sentencing hearing. You walked out of the courtroom believing probation gave you the opportunity to move forward with your life. Then something happened. You missed an appointment with your probation officer. You failed a drug or alcohol test. You couldn't afford your court payments. You were accused of violating a no-contact order. Or perhaps you were arrested for an entirely new offense. Now you're being told your probation may be revoked, and the jail or prison sentence you thought you avoided could suddenly become a reality. A probation violation in Omaha or anywhere else in Nebraska is a serious matter, but it does not automatically mean you will lose your freedom. At Miltenberger Law Offices, we represent clients throughout Omaha and across Nebraska accused of violating probation. Whether your violation involves missed appointments, failed drug tests, unpaid fines, or new criminal charges, we work quickly to protect your rights and pursue the best possible outcome. If you've been notified of a probation violation or believe a warrant may have been issued, call 402-217-2267 right away, or contact us online for a free confidential consultation with an experienced Omaha probation violations lawyer. Judges have several options available when deciding how to handle an alleged probation violation. In many cases, an experienced defense attorney in Omaha can present evidence, explain mitigating circumstances, and advocate for alternatives that allow probation to continue. What is probation in Nebraska? Probation allows some individuals convicted of criminal offenses to serve their sentences in the community instead of spending time in jail or prison. Rather than immediate incarceration, the court places the individual under supervision for a specified period while requiring compliance with numerous conditions designed to promote rehabilitation, accountability, and public safety. Probation is not the same as having your case dismissed or avoiding punishment. It is a court-ordered sentence that comes with strict rules. Depending on the offense and the circumstances of the case, a person on probation may be required to regularly report to a probation officer, maintain employment, complete counseling or treatment programs, submit to drug or alcohol testing, perform community service, pay fines or restitution, and comply with numerous other conditions. Nebraska's probation system is administered through the Nebraska Probation System under the supervision of the Nebraska Supreme Court. Adult probation officers supervise individuals convicted of criminal offenses, monitor compliance with court-ordered conditions, and report alleged violations to the court. Separate juvenile probation services oversee cases involving minors, with an emphasis on rehabilitation and family involvement. Successfully completing probation allows an individual to satisfy the terms of the sentence without serving the suspended jail or prison term. However, violating any condition of probation can result in additional court hearings, stricter supervision, modification of probation conditions, or even revocation of probation and the imposition of the original sentence. Common conditions of probation in Omaha, Nebraska. Every probation sentence is tailored to the individual, and the conditions imposed by the court vary depending on the offense, the person's criminal history, and other factors. When someone is granted probation by a Nebraska court, they have to follow certain rules listed in Nebraska Revised Statutes, Section 29-2262. Under Nebraska law, judges have broad discretion to require conditions they believe are appropriate to encourage rehabilitation while protecting the community. Common probation conditions include: obey all federal, state, and local laws. Report regularly to a probation officer and comply with all supervision requirements. Notify your probation officer before changing your residence, employment, or contact information. Maintain lawful employment or actively seek work if unemployed. Support your dependents and fulfill family responsibilities. Complete substance abuse treatment, mental health counseling, or other court-ordered programs. Attend educational classes, vocational training, or other rehabilitative services when required. Submit to random drug and alcohol testing. Allow probation officers to conduct home visits or other approved supervision activities. Pay court costs, fines, supervision fees, and restitution as ordered. Complete community service or other court-approved programs. Comply with travel restrictions and obtain permission before leaving the jurisdiction when required. Avoid contact with certain individuals or locations if ordered by the court. Refrain from possessing firearms or other prohibited weapons when prohibited by law or court order. Follow any additional conditions specifically ordered by the sentencing judge. Not every individual on probation will be subject to every one of these conditions. Some people may have only a handful of requirements, while others may be placed under intensive supervision with significantly more restrictions. Understanding the conditions of your probation is critical. Even seemingly minor violations, such as missing a meeting with your probation officer, failing to complete treatment on time, or leaving the state without permission, can result in allegations that you violated your probation and place your freedom at risk. What happens after a probation violation in Omaha, Nebraska? Every probation case is different, but the process generally begins when a probation officer believes one or more conditions of probation have been violated. The probation officer may prepare a written violation report outlining the alleged conduct and submit it to the court. Depending on the circumstances, the judge may schedule a probation violation hearing, issue a summons requiring you to appear in court, issue an arrest warrant, order that you remain in custody until your hearing. At the hearing, the court will consider whether a violation occurred and determine what consequences, if any, should follow. Unlike a criminal trial, the focus is not whether you committed the original offense, it is whether you violated the terms of your probation. That distinction is important because a probation violation hearing is a formal court proceeding governed by Nebraska Revised Statute, Section 29-2267, where the state must prove by clear and convincing evidence that you broke the rules of your supervision. Even so, you still have important legal rights, including the right to be represented by an attorney and the opportunity to challenge the allegations against you. Common probation violations in Omaha, Nebraska. Probation conditions vary depending on the underlying offense and the sentence imposed by the court. Some individuals have only a few requirements. Others must comply with dozens of conditions while reporting regularly to a probation officer. Some of the most common probation violations our defense attorneys see in Omaha include: missing appointments with a probation officer, failing drug or alcohol testing, committing a new criminal offense, failing to complete court-ordered treatment, missing counseling or classes, failing to pay fines or restitution, violating travel restrictions, failing to maintain employment, violating curfew requirements, contacting protected individuals, possessing firearms or prohibited items, Although these allegations are common, each case presents unique facts that deserve careful review before the court determines whether probation should be revoked. Missing probation appointments in Omaha, Nebraska. One of the most common reasons people face probation violation proceedings is failing to report to their probation officer. Sometimes the failure is intentional. Other times it results from work obligations, transportation problems, medical emergencies, family issues, or simple misunderstandings about scheduling. Common allegations include missing scheduled meetings, failing to return phone calls, ignoring written notices, failing to update an address, changing employment without notification, missing required home visits. While these violations may appear minor, repeatedly failing to communicate with a probation officer can lead the court to believe someone is intentionally avoiding supervision. Explaining the circumstances early and providing supporting documentation whenever possible may help present a more complete picture to the court. Failed drug or alcohol tests in Omaha. Many probation sentences require regular drug or alcohol testing. A positive result can quickly lead to allegations that probation conditions were violated. These cases may involve positive drug tests, positive alcohol screenings, diluted samples, missed testing appointments, refusing to submit to testing, questions involving prescription medications. A failed test does not always tell the entire story. Prescription medications, laboratory procedures, testing errors, and questions regarding the collection process may all become important issues. Our Omaha Probation Violation Defense Team carefully reviews the circumstances surrounding the alleged violation instead of assuming the testing process was flawless. Failure to complete court-ordered requirements in Omaha, Nebraska. Probation often involves more than simply staying out of trouble. Courts may require individuals to complete programs intended to reduce the likelihood of future offenses. Common conditions include substance abuse treatment, mental health counseling, anger management classes, domestic violence programs, educational courses, community service, victim impact panels, parenting classes. Missing appointments or failing to complete these requirements can result in allegations that probation has been violated. However, legitimate obstacles, including illness, transportation issues, employment conflicts, or financial hardship, may help explain why certain requirements were not completed on time. Failure to pay court costs, fines, or restitution in Omaha. Many probation orders require individuals to make regular payments toward court costs, fines, supervision fees, or restitution. Falling behind financially does not automatically mean someone intentionally violated probation. Life circumstances can change quickly. Unexpected medical expenses, job loss, reduced work hours, or family emergencies may make it difficult to keep up with required payments. Courts generally recognize the difference between someone who refuses to pay and someone who genuinely lacks the financial ability to do so. Providing documentation regarding income, expenses, employment history, and financial hardship may become an important part of presenting your case. New criminal charges in Omaha, Nebraska. Being arrested while on probation creates one of the most serious situations a person can face. Even if the new criminal case has not yet been resolved, prosecutors or probation officers may argue that the arrest itself demonstrates a violation of probation. Common new allegations include DUI, drug possession, assault, domestic violence, theft, weapons charges, property crimes, traffic offenses. It is important to remember that being charged with a new crime is not the same as being convicted. You remain presumed innocent in the new criminal case. Nevertheless, the probation court may still consider whether your conduct violated the conditions of your probation. When someone is facing both a probation violation and new criminal charges at the same time, the two cases often become closely connected. Developing a coordinated legal strategy can help avoid decisions in one case that unintentionally create problems in the other. Travel violations in Omaha. Many people are surprised to learn that probation often limits where they can travel. Depending on the terms of your sentence, you may be required to remain in Nebraska, stay within a specific county, or obtain permission from your probation officer before traveling. Common travel-related violations include leaving the state without approval, traveling outside the county without authorization, missing required check-ins while traveling, failing to notify a probation officer of overnight travel, relocating to another residence without permission. Some travel violations are intentional. Others occur because individuals misunderstand the conditions of their probation or assume permission is unnecessary for short trips. Regardless of the reason, unauthorized travel can lead to allegations that you failed to comply with the court's orders. If a misunderstanding occurred or an emergency required unexpected travel, presenting those circumstances to the court may help explain why the alleged violation occurred. Violating a no-contact order or protective condition in Omaha, Nebraska. Many probation sentences include restrictions on contacting certain individuals. These conditions commonly arise in cases involving domestic violence, harassment, assault, stalking, or other offenses involving an alleged victim. Violations may include calling or texting a protected person, sending emails or social media messages, communicating through friends or family members, appearing at a prohibited residence or workplace, responding to contact initiated by the protected person. Many people mistakenly believe they cannot violate a no-contact order if the other person contacted them first. In reality, the court order typically applies regardless of who initiated the communication. Even well-intentioned conversations aimed at resolving a dispute may be viewed as violations if they occur contrary to the court's order. What happens if probation is revoked in Nebraska? One of the biggest misconceptions about probation violations is that every violation automatically results in jail or prison. That simply is not true. Nebraska judges have several options available after finding that a probation violation occurred. Depending on the circumstances, the court may continue probation without making changes, issue a warning regarding future compliance, modify the existing conditions of probation, extend the probationary period where permitted by law, order additional counseling or treatment, require increased reporting or supervision, impose electronic monitoring, order a period of incarceration, revoke probation, and impose the previously suspended jail or prison sentence. The judge's decision often depends on several factors, including the nature of the alleged violation, your overall performance while on probation, your criminal history, whether this is a first violation, and the steps you have taken to address the underlying issues. Presenting mitigating evidence early can often make a significant difference in how the court views your case. The government must still prove a violation. Although probation violation hearings differ from criminal trials, the court does not simply revoke probation because a probation officer alleges that a violation occurred. Depending on the circumstances, the evidence presented by the probation officer or prosecutor may be challenged. Witnesses may be questioned. Documents may be disputed. Drug test results may require closer examination. Financial records may help explain missed payments. Employment records, medical records, or other documentation may demonstrate that an alleged violation was neither intentional nor avoidable. Every allegation should be carefully evaluated rather than simply accepted at face value. Our Omaha probation violation lawyers are ready to defend you. Common defenses to probation violations in Omaha. The best defense depends on the specific facts surrounding the alleged violation. In many cases, there are explanations or legal defenses that deserve careful consideration before the court decides whether probation should be revoked, including the violation never occurred. Sometimes probation officers receive incomplete or inaccurate information. Attendance records, payment histories, treatment documentation, or communication logs may show that you actually complied with the court's requirements. The violation was not willful. Courts often distinguish between someone who intentionally ignores probation conditions and someone prevented from complying because of circumstances beyond their control. Serious illness, hospitalization, transportation failures, or unexpected family emergencies may all become relevant. Financial inability. Missing payments is not always the result of refusing to pay. Job loss, reduced income, or other financial hardships may explain why court-ordered obligations were not satisfied on time. Problems with drug testing. Laboratory errors, prescription medications, improper collection procedures, or issues involving sample handling may affect the reliability of an alleged positive test. Insufficient evidence. The court should base its decision on reliable evidence, not assumptions or speculation. If the evidence supporting the alleged violation is weak, inconsistent, or incomplete, those deficiencies should be brought to the court's attention. What should you do if your probation officer contacts you? If your probation officer tells you that a violation has been reported or you believe a warrant may have been issued, it is important to act quickly. Do not ignore the situation. Ignoring phone calls, letters, or court notices rarely improves the situation. Missing a scheduled hearing may result in additional consequences, including the issuance of an arrest warrant. Gather important documents. Collect records that may help explain the alleged violation, including proof of payments, treatment attendance, employment records, medical documentation, text messages, emails, or other relevant information. Avoid making false statements. If you communicate with your probation officer, be truthful. Providing false information can make an already difficult situation significantly worse. Contact an experienced defense attorney immediately. Early legal representation provides an opportunity to evaluate the allegations, communicate with the appropriate parties, gather favorable evidence, and begin preparing for your hearing before important deadlines pass. Probation Violation Resources in Omaha, Nebraska. If you are facing a probation violation, the following official resources may help you better understand Nebraska's probation system and the courts that oversee these cases. Nebraska Probation System Online Database, information about adult probation, supervision programs, and probation services throughout Nebraska. Probation Information Network. Overview of supervised release restrictions. Provides information about probation supervision in the U.S. District of Nebraska, including standard conditions of supervision, travel restrictions, Nebraska sex offender registry requirements, and links to reentry programs, community organizations, healthcare services, and other post-release resources. Nebraska Judicial Branch website. court procedures, forms, and information regarding Nebraska's court system. Douglas County District Court website, court information for felony criminal matters and probation proceedings in Omaha. Nebraska Legislature online database. Search Nebraska statutes relating to probation, sentencing, and criminal offenses. Nebraska Problem-Solving Courts online database. Information regarding specialty court programs that may be available in certain cases. Frequently asked questions about probation violations in Omaha, Nebraska. Will I automatically go to jail if I violate probation? Answer: no. Judges have several options available, including continuing probation, modifying the conditions, imposing additional requirements, or revoking probation in more serious cases. Can I be arrested for violating probation in Omaha? Answer: yes. Depending on the circumstances, the court may issue a warrant or require you to appear for a probation violation hearing. What if I only missed one appointment? Answer: every case is different. A single missed appointment does not necessarily mean probation will be revoked, particularly if there is a reasonable explanation. Can probation be revoked if I'm only accused of a new crime? Answer: possibly. A new arrest or alleged criminal conduct may trigger probation violation proceedings, even if the new criminal case has not yet been resolved. What if I couldn't afford my payments? Answer: courts often distinguish between someone who is financially unable to pay and someone who simply refuses to comply. Documentation of your financial circumstances can be important. Should I hire a lawyer for a probation violation in Omaha? Answer: why clients choose Miltenberger Law Offices for a probation violation in Omaha. When you're accused of violating probation, time matters. The sooner you involve a probation violation attorney, the sooner someone can begin reviewing the allegations, gathering favorable evidence, and developing a strategy to protect your freedom. At Miltenberger Law Offices, we understand that a probation violation does not always tell the whole story. Illness, financial hardship, employment conflicts, misunderstandings, and other legitimate circumstances often play a significant role in these cases. We work to present those facts effectively, challenge unsupported allegations, negotiate practical solutions when appropriate, and advocate for outcomes that avoid unnecessary incarceration whenever possible. Speak with an Omaha probation violations lawyer today. If you have been accused of violating probation, do not wait until your court date to begin preparing your defense. Whether your case involves missed appointments, failed drug testing, unpaid fines, new criminal charges, or another alleged violation, early legal representation may significantly improve your options. Call 402-217-2267 or contact us online to schedule a confidential consultation with an experienced Omaha probation violations attorney. Your probation may be at risk, but that does not mean your future is already decided. Yes. Because your freedom may be at stake, speaking with an experienced defense attorney in Omaha as early as possible is often one of the most important steps you can take. Miltenberger Law Offices is a leading criminal defense law firm serving the entire state of Nebraska. We are headquartered in Omaha and serve Douglas County, Lancaster County, Lincoln, Sarpy County, and all of Nebraska. We look forward to helping you with your criminal defense attorney needs.